Hey guys, welcome back. Another quarantine check-in of the castmates. As you heard last time, this time it's going to be me, Mike behind the mic, Mike, my lady Marissa,
Hello.
and joining us is Mysterious.
Woohoo! I made it.
All right, so it's just going to be the four of us this time. We're checking in on Discord just like we did last time. Um, we're just going to have a little quarantine check-in. Obviously, we're not together. We are social distancing and all of that good stuff. Um, Me and Marissa had a old fashioned, and we were actually doing a puzzle, and then we had dinner, and now we're
Yeah.
joining you guys. So I'm not drinking anything right now, um, but earlier we did have an old fashioned.
Mm.
Right. Mike, what are you drinking?
I have a little bit of Old Forester and a splash of water.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just simple.
I have not been drinking yet
Yet.
because I haven't made dinner yet. But
Ah,
Mm.
I
okay.
am. I mean, I could get trashy, but I don't feel like getting trashy yet. It's all about the yet. Uh,
Okay.
I did try gin. A
Ooh.
gin. It's called Empress Gin. It's pretty. It's blue. It's
How was it?
pretty. You know what? Initially, I just had a little bit on a globe just to see how it would go down.
Mm-hmm.
And first thoughts, it's pretty. Second thought, I don't know.
Well,
I don't.
gin is a very pretty alcohol. It is very, very much an acquired taste. You either
Yes.
like it or you don't. Juniper can be overpowering to some people, and believe it or not, some people, uh, juniper tastes like soap. So the whole experience just tastes like they're, licking a bar of soap, and they just don't like
Washing
it.
their mouth out.
Yeah,
I've cursed enough. That's probably appropriate, I guess. I don't
Right.
know.
yeah.
It was actually a recommendation of a patient. I don't even know how we got on the topic of alcohol, which don't judge me on that.
Yeah.
But I had a patient recommend this to me, and I oversplurged at Specs and bought some and a lot of other bottles of whiskey. And it gets inappropriate. I like doubled my bar size there.
Oh wow.
And
In one trip.
yeah, it's bad. In
There's
one
nothing
trip.
wrong. There's nothing
Well,
wrong with that.
Comic
Nothing.
Con got canceled, so I ended up with some more money.
Oh yeah,
Well,
So,
there
that's
you
true. There you
go.
go.
and I did buy a present for castmates. So there's that.
Yes.
Oh, we much appreciate it.
So
Next time we're together,
Yeah.
we'll
yeah,
have to try it.
yes, I'm excited. It's just sitting there. I won't try it without you guys. So it's
Awesome.
hanging out.
Cool.
Anyways,
Alright.
We like whiskey. We like new whiskey. So last time me and Mike, they've already heard about what we've been doing during quarantine. Um, I live with Marissa, so I pretty much know what she's been doing during quarantine. But I'll
But
let Marissa
but our
tell
listeners
you about
don't.
her, yeah, her quarantine experience. How long have you been working from home from?
Yeah, so my quarantine experience hasn't really changed much. I'm still working. I have the luxury of being able to work from home. So we've been working from home since March 18th. As of right now, we are scheduled to work from home until May 31st.
Oh wow,
So
that's a
at the
while.
time of recording, we may not go back to the office until June. Um, it's still up in the air because we don't know what the next few weeks are going to look like. For those of you who don't know, we've said it before. We're in Texas, and Texas is reopening slowly and in phases. Um, what that ends up looking like in the grand scheme of things, as far as um, infection rate in the next couple of weeks, I don't know. So we may extend our work from home even more depending on how the next few weeks go. But my daily routine hasn't really changed other than I get to work in my pajamas and bras are optional. Um,
yeah, yeah.
and then, I mean, as far as downtime, I can't say that I've really been doing a whole lot. We have done puzzles. I do enjoy puzzles, so we've ordered some puzzles, and that passes the time. Um,
Also,
couple,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, we've watched a couple of things on Netflix and Hulu and whatnot. We got on the Tiger King bandwagon.
Oh my god.
So we
Yep.
did we
No.
did binge that.
No, I
I
Oh,
won't
refuse.
go into detail because I'm sure everybody wants to talk about that when we're together again.
Oh
But
no. I'm skipping that episode.
I am too.
so we did jump on the Tiger King bandwagon. We've started The Good Place. We haven't finished it yet. We're on season 2.
Yes, I will
Um
definitely talk about that.
yeah,
Okay.
I hear it's
so
really good.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's we've liked it so far. I No spoilers, but I like the little turn that it took in the second season.
Oh, definitely.
Jason is not a fan of it, but
He doesn't know good television once it smacks him in the face.
Hey, 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 hey.
so we'll see.
I
And
don't.
then we've just been doing a lot of odds and ends around the house. Um, I don't venture out a whole lot. Jason and my brother still do every now and then for DoorDash, but I don't really venture out a whole lot. So I've been more quarantined, I think, than anybody in the house. My outages are extended to if we go get something to eat, drive through or whatnot, or if we go to the store. I'm the designated uh, shopper right now, so I suit up with my mask and my gloves and you know all of my sanitation needs, and I make it into the store and out, and that's the extent of my outings. So I have not really gone out a whole lot in the grand scheme of things compared to some other people. And
I think you need to go on some
kind
walks.
of.
Take your dog, go on some walks, get out.
We
So
do. We
we've
do.
tried, we've tried. Um, she's not great on the leash right now, and she barks at everything.
And that's
Okay.
the
And
reason why.
so
Like, she likes to bark. Everybody is out walking.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so if there's dogs or children's, she barks.
And in all honesty, she's so strong
Yeah.
that I cannot control her. It would have to be Jason
Yeah.
because she would probably take me down.
She's
So
what,
we're
like 80
still
or 90 pounds now?
she's
No.
73
She
pounds. She
okay,
did lose weight.
she lost more. Okay.
Yes, she
Yeah.
had her checkup. She got a good clean bill of health. She's dropped weight, so now she's at her ideal weight.
Okay, good.
And so she's definitely loving the fact that I work from home though,
Yeah.
because she's, um, my little assistant in the office. And she definitely likes snack time, breakfast time. She gets a second breakfast. So
Well,
if I
she's a
m-
hobbit, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if I make myself some eggs in the morning, she gets her own egg. Um, and then we have a snack, and then we have lunch, and then we have another snack. So she's definitely
This is the
benefiting
best.
from the
Yeah,
stay at
right?
home order more than anyone else in
Yeah.
Oh
this
yeah.
I'm having to do extra exercises with her in the afternoons when I'm done working just to make sure that she doesn't start gaining weight.
Gaining the weight back,
So
yeah.
we spend some extra time in the backyard with the frisbee or some zoomies or whatever I can get her to do. Sometimes I'll even chase her with the water hose. She loves water.
You
She's a
gotta
water pup.
you gotta keep that quarantine 15 off, right? Is that
Exactly.
what they're calling
You
it?
Exactly.
got to keep the quarantine 15
Yeah.
off. Yep.
So, but that I mean that kind of wraps up my whole quarantine in a nutshell. Just a lot of my time is spent working because I can still work from home. So, my routine really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What about you, Misty? How's your quarantine been treating you?
you know, um, yeah. Okay, well, the real answer is it's hard. I it's a long and loaded question for me.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys know, and everybody knows at this point, I do work in healthcare, so it's an entirely new spectrum of events that we're all kind of trying to figure out. So we're not only managing ourselves, but our patients, our family, our friends, and society. So it's a hard entity to deal with. I don't consider myself on a front line because I'm doing what I've always done. Um, I'm very fortunate to have a job, period, let alone continue to see the patients that I've always seen and go to work like I've always gone to work. You know, we have precautions in place to protect ourselves and our patients. And for the most part, you know, I'm still doing what I've always done. So, in theory, with Marissa, that part hasn't really changed too much. You know, downtime has become very important. My life is a lot different. Um, you know, we all know I go out and dance and I'm way more social. So it's been an interesting entity to not have those outlets. I haven't seen my dance partner in almost 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm
Yeah.
trying to do my own thing to release the energy. I'm grateful that I have a home that has a backyard,
Yeah.
and so I can be outside and work out in the yard and try and ground myself regularly because as somebody who has all the feelings all the time anyway, it's a hard thing to manage with really little outlets that are healthy.
Right.
Not just
No.
yourself, but yeah, I can't. As much as I love drinking, you guys,
Yeah,
there's
you can't
levels
you
to
can't
that.
drink every night all
Yeah,
night.
no, 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 no. You could,
No,
you
there's
could, you. It's very easy to drink yourself into a stupor, and then you're
well,
just
and I
like,
don't like how I feel either. You
Right.
know, I'm almost 37. Bitch, don't got time to be hungover. You know, I mean, I
yeah,
guess I do, but um,
Mm-hmm.
I just tell people it's kind of a loaded question right now. Every day, it's an ever changing headspace. You know, we're learning like everybody else what's appropriate and what's not, and I've really had to kind of use this downtime. I don't want to say this, there's no judgment on how everybody wants to handle their downtime. You know, you do you.
oh
If
no,
you
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
Right.
yeah,
sit and cry and getting out of bed is your win for the day, then fuck yeah, you do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud of
yeah,
you. For me, I have to move and be productive in order to feel good. And so I'm using this time for myself to do house projects or to work in my yard. I'm doing things that I didn't give myself the ability to do because of my scheduling before. So since I'm not able to dance and move my body the ways that I wanted to do or I can do right now, I'm pursuing other passions and things so that I can stay active and productive and learn about myself and how I want to do things differently moving forward after this. So I think of it more as a challenge and a growing experience on all levels.
yeah. There's definitely going to be a. Me and Marissa were talking about this the other night. There's definitely going to be a new normal moving forward. I don't think things are going to be like they were for a very long, extended period of time. And the things that we used to do and take for granted just aren't going to be available, and they're not. It's just going to be different. Like we were talking about it last time. Me and Ahmed and Mike, we barely touched on it, but it's been very surreal for me because Amazon stays basically the same. Its packages drop, but when you do DoorDash, it's very much different in the way of restaurant. It's eerie. Like some restaurants allow you to go in, other restaurants you can't even go in, and some restaurants
Mhm.
the people are wearing masks, some are not. Everybody's got gloves, but not everybody has a mask. So it's basically just like
That's stupid.
you have to control
Mm-hmm.
what you do, and you have to be more conscious of every single move you make. Like me and Marissa, she goes with me sometimes on Saturday and Sunday just to get out of the house, and we Lysol down the entire vehicle with Lysol wipes. We're sanitizing after every order, every time I drop off. Like there's a level of caution that goes with it that just you really learn that you take things for granted, and that it's not going to be that way anymore. Like I know coming on Friday, restaurants can open, bars cannot, but restaurants can open, but they can only operate at 25%. But my problem with that is, like we've already talked about it, we're not going anywhere because if you can only operate at 25%, where are all those people waiting?
They're not
Yeah.
in
So yeah,
theory.
that's my concern. It's like, are they going to wait? Is everybody going to be congregated outside? Because the lines for the stores. I'm sure you guys have seen. Like I don't know about you guys, but the line at HEB Kyle when this first got going, and still up until like what this week, the
Mhm.
line was the line was probably a quarter mile long to get in the store, and they had people monitoring, making sure you were staying, you know, a couple feet back, but it wasn't 6 feet.
Right.
So it's just, and
Well,
they're doing the best they can too. So it's just like everybody has to monitor themselves, and like me and Marissa have talked about it. Like I, you can open on Friday, that's great, but don't expect me to. I'm definitely not looking forward to going to sitting in a restaurant anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think the HEB thing, first and foremost, I need to applaud and commend them for stepping the fuck up and knowing that this was going to be an entity, even really before we all knew what to expect.
Oh yeah, they had
Um,
their pandemic
they had
teams
they have a
working on it in
pandemic team.
January.
Like, fuck yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go down politics. We made an agreement for my own personal
Yeah,
sanity that we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
This is a house rule. Everybody, like, just so everybody knows, that's how we are in this group, just for my own personal request. So this
Mhm.
podcast isn't going to have any politics attached to it. Um, but I have to commend them for really stepping up their game before anybody else. It's, when you guys talk about HEB and things, it's a surreal idea to know that you don't have accessibility to food. I work 12-hour days. So when they closed the hours down, I realized I couldn't get access to food I needed. I
Mhm.
have a
yeah. I
special diet
remember.
too. And
Yeah,
so I was actually concerned. There was actual anxiety for me that I couldn't eat. I
yeah. I
went to
remember.
Sprouts
I
the
remember you
first
and me
day
having.
after that happened. Yeah, I
I
remember
remember
you
you and me
texting
having a
me.
text conversation. And you were like, "Can you please, like, if you're in HEB and Kyle, can you tell me how produce and stuff looks? Because number one, there's anxiety because of the schedule, and number two, you have dietary issues that are real, like things that you can and cannot eat. For those of us that can eat whatever the fuck, we can go wherever and get whatever whenever. But for you, there's a very certain criteria that you have to meet, and when your food source gets cut off, yeah, that's really scary, and that
It was
leads
it was
to other mental health issues.
yeah, anxiety. I never thought that at this day and age that would be a concern for me, and that was a really big reality check for me. To go. I even went to an alternative grocery store that's typically more expensive. Thinking that I could get something, and I went in scrubs coming from work when this first thing started, and it looked like it was a zombie apocalypse. There was
Yeah.
no fucking food. Like
Yeah,
you would have thought that like people were turning into zombies. And I'm like, oh my God, I literally just needed food to get me through the next 4 work days. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to eat.
Mhm.
And the idea that I had to think about that as an adult blew my mind. And it was a really big starting turning point for me to like have to check some realities for myself on how I can manage my food, how I needed to manage others, and things like that you never thought you would think about.
Right.
So I think it's funny that we're all coming in. I don't know about you guys, but 2020, I was like, coming in hot. We got this. I'm gonna start all this. Yeah, I'm gonna be traveling. You better watch out. And then this year, like, we are coming in hot. We got the big change we all wanted.
Yep.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. It's a change. It may not be the
It's not the
definitely
change
not
we
the change you
wanted,
expected, but
but it is a
you
change.
you got it. Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
yeah. For us, like we're supposed to get married in September, and we haven't even been able to sign the document to get the place. Her dress, haven't heard anything from those people. The cake people, we haven't heard anybody. I mean, everybody shut down.
Yeah.
So we've told like both of our families and everybody were like, just pump the brakes, man. Like we have no idea if this is actually going to happen. We have
Yeah.
no idea.
Well, it'll
Right.
it'll happen. Just maybe not in September.
Yeah, it may be happening. Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
happen, but
The reality is it's probably something that the probability that we're pushing it out until even the following year is very high at this particular point,
oh, that sucks.
depending on
Mhm.
how the summer goes and how the remaining you know um weeks with this COVID situation continue to go, because at the end of the day, you can do what you can only do so much to control the environment, your own personal environment, but you can't control circumstances outside of your own personal environment. And so, if you listen to quote unquote experts and everybody talk, I mean, there's a high probability that a second wave is coming. And if that does in fact happen, then there's a high probability that everything that we've been planning for this year does get pushed back another year. Because we just won't have, um, to me, there's no point if I can't have my family and my friends there, there's no point in having it. I think someone had floated the idea of, well, you guys could do like a virtual wedding. And I'm like, well, what the hell's the point of that? I should have done that 2, 3 years ago when we
Yeah,
decided to get
exactly.
married. Like, there's just no point to me. So, it's just one of those situations where you got to take it day by, well, at least, the way that
Week by week.
the way that I've kind of handled it is just like a day by day basis. I mean, that's really all I can do at this particular point. I can't control what's going on outside of my, the walls of my home. So it is what it is, and I'll just kind of deal with it on a day by day basis. And
Don't you
hopefully,
think this whole thing has slowed you down though?
well,
Like,
I
do you
can't say
feel?
that I can't say that I was fast paced to begin with.
Yeah, like
So,
me, in all seriousness, me and Marissa have talked about this. Like our lives, like day to day, like we didn't do a whole lot. Like we're homebodies. We always have been, and like so as far as like traveling or going, like you and Ahmed, there's like Comic Con, or he's in California, or he's off at a wedding, or he's in London, or you're in Seattle, or something like that. Like that's just not our lifestyle at all. And of course, to each their own. I love that you guys travel and go and do stuff, and we travel, but our traveling is in state. We're going to distilleries. We're going to, and now that part has like completely shut down because of all that. You know that better than anybody. Everything is shut down. So I mean, they stopped producing whiskey and they're going to hand sanitizer, and we're
Yes.
very thankful
Ooh,
that
we need to
they're
talk about that.
yeah, we're very thankful that they are producing hand sanitizer and donating it, selling it. There's a little bit of both, but I mean, obviously they got to cover the cost of grain and everything. So, but yeah, I mean they're doing everything they can. I mean,
I think it's pretty cool
and
to see the outpouring of cool stuff that people are doing and discovering the gifts they can share with others. I do think that despite all of the shit and the scary and the heartbreaking events that I purposely don't watch anymore because I can't take it.
Hmm.
Like,
yeah, but you see
look at that
people.
Nancy.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
see people. Playing singing out of windows in New York and playing taps and singing opera in Italy and people chalking the walk and sidewalk art and bear hunts for stuffed bears in neighborhoods. I mean, people are coming together and whether you have children in virtual learning, like obviously none of us have kids that are, but I can't even imagine. Like I have one friend who runs a hair salon out of her home, and she has two young boys, like one's 5 or 6 and one's 3 or 4, something like that. And she was just like, "Oh my god, like I don't know how to homeschool. Like it's just, like I can't even imagine what it's like to have school age children in all this, and especially if you have a senior. Like
Hmm.
they're basically the second semester of their senior year just basically got taken away from them.
That's my
It was
niece right
wiped
now.
off the map. I mean, and some people are sad, other people are happy. Different strokes for different folks. But either or, your senior year was drastically altered.
Yeah, no, that's my niece right now. She has spent the last year looking at colleges, and now all of that's just who knows what the fuck's gonna happen now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so, but yeah, it's oh man.
And as far as like going back to colleges, like I know the schools in California, like the major universities, they're talking about like no sports until 2021. So I mean, I don't know what fall. I don't know what football and NFL. I don't know what that looks like this year. I don't even know if we have a season with fans in the stadiums. Like I have no idea what's going on. I personally wouldn't go to a game, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to the one day at a time thing. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can I do a little thank you? I mean, we can do
Absolutely,
another
yeah.
one,
Help
but
yourself.
I
Yeah.
really
Knock it out.
want to put an official thank you out to Andalusia and Milam and Green for really helping us. My clinic works with immunocompromised patients. That's how we handle our, well, not handle, but it's what our population is we manage patients that are purposely or genetically immunocompromised through disease process or through genetics, basically. If you don't have an immune system because you're born with it, or because we're purposely suppressing your system because you're autoimmune in something. And I myself am in that category. I work in that, and I am one of those people. So having hand sanitizer, even though we're not technically on the front lines, doesn't mean that we don't need it. And Jason had reached out to me and asked if we were okay, and quite frankly, we weren't. We were getting pretty low. And we actually had a patient, well, we don't know who, but we had patients actually stealing our alcohol wipes out of our IV carts in the beginning. And so we had to start rationing out and hiding our hand sanitizer from people. So I'm very, very grateful that they donated these hand sanitizer to us because we really needed it. And it's helped us get through this whole time without having to worry about, safe. I mean, I've washed my hands so fucking much, you guys, you don't even want to know. I tell my patients that I'm growing a new hand every time I wash my hands.
Yeah.
Because, I don't even know what level of dermis I'm on at this point.
Right.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not at the point where I have fucking bruises on my face from a 95, but I'm certainly breaking out, because of it.
Right.
So but I'm very grateful. So there's going to be more of an official, when in person, but know that my job at Paragon is very grateful for the whole clinic. You even help supply our Round Rock team some. So please accept my gratitude and thank you for your hard work and your kindness and compassion for people trying to help others.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I reached out to Ty, and Ty said, if we're monitoring it and if it comes back hot and heavy once we reopen and you have to shut down and we have to go back or whatever, he was like, just let him know, and I can run out to Blanco. I can get you guys more sanitizer. Just whatever you need, you just let me know.
I very much appreciate it. When a time when you have a lot of stresses on your plate already, it's nice to know that you can do your job safely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
One less thing to worry about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh? All right, guys. We've had
I
our.
feel like I need a drink.
Yeah, a little check-in.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys have anything else you wanted to chat about?
New Harry Potter Lego sets were released today. Get on Lego and check them out. Yeah, we got
something
Hedwig,
other than
we got a mini Hogwarts.
something other than puzzles to do.
Yeah, actually, Marissa helped me with some Legos. We put together a little Yoda starship, and then we have the Hoth battle scene that Ahmed gave me for Christmas that I still haven't put together yet. So
nice.
Ooh, I want to see end photos of that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I have the Batman limited edition one from Comic-Con that I got in July, and it's been sitting there staring at me. Like, you want to do this? And I'm like, I don't want to open it, but I do.
You do want to open it.
I do want to open it. And so now I have it, downstairs, staring at me even more. And so it's going to happen. I just can't take it anymore. I'm like, I don't fucking care. It's mine anyway. I want to play with my toy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I got duped. So I ordered the Child and the Mandalorian, the little Lego minifigures, but you actually put them together.
Oh, no.
And I thought they were coming right now. It's only I think both of them together are 20 pieces. So it's, whatever. But I wanted them. They're not even shipping until December.
Oh yeah, of course not.
Motherfucker! Season 2 will be out by then. Damn it!
Yep.
Well, then you'll just be ready for, you'll have your own little co-pilot while
exactly. I can
you're
wait.
watching season 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It'll be all right.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I've stopped buying me and Mike have talked about this, and me and Marissa have talked about this, but I stopped buying the bigger Lego sets because one, they're so damn expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and two,
Yeah.
whiskey is my hobby, and three, there's nowhere to put them. I just don't have I would love to have a Death Star
Oh yeah,
or
no,
Yes.
or a Millennium
Oh,
Falcon,
me too.
the
but
size
number
of a
one,
coffee
Yes.
table.
yeah, I
I
don't
want the
have.
Millennium, but it is the
If,
size of a coffee table.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
no, if we bought the new Millennium Falcon, it would literally fit on on my whole coffee table.
Yep.
And
It
plus,
could be
they're
your
$800.
coffee table.
It's like, ugh.
Right?
Yeah,
You should just
Would
build a
that be
coffee
your
table
coffee
around
table?
it. Yeah.
yeah, that would be my coffee table. You couldn't put anything on there. It would just be the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You could just, but did you build, like Mike said, a coffee table around it?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah, a
becomes,
lot
like,
of people
the
do that.
centerpiece.
They're the glass ones. Yeah,
Yep.
you put them on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
no.
So,
No, no, no.
All right.
all right, and Mike,
This was a quick chicken.
Quick
yeah,
check-in.
and Mike,
yeah.
you're going to record. You're going to meet up with some of our other castmate members
Yep.
on Friday.
We have Tim and Amy will be coming up next.
Okay.
I'll be chatting with them in a couple days with Ahmed, and then we're still trying to get Anthony and Amber lined up for a check-in
Okay.
here pretty soon. So
Okay,
yeah,
that'll work.
we'll be doing a couple more of these. Just get around, check in with all the different mates and see how we're doing in our little quarantine. And we got some other future stuff coming up too that we're thinking about doing remotely as well. So keep
Cool.
an ear out for that.
Mike, tell them where they can find us.
Yep. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Castmates Podcast, Twitter at Castmates Pod, or our website, castmatespodcast.com. Leave us a rating and review. We'd really appreciate it. And let us know how you're doing in this quarantine. What's keeping your mind occupied? All right.
All right.
Please be kind to each other.
Be kind.
Yep.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Later.